Okay. All right, go ahead, please.
Yeah, apologies, I'm able to share my camera right now because I'm actually in
Okay, go
transit.
ahead. No
Yeah,
worries.
but I'll just give you the bullet points. So for the new users, the procedures would be to request the initiation from HR department, identify identity verification, and then the role-based access assignments, then move to the account creation, access provisioning and testing phase. If my partner could please share the screen while I just go through the bullet points, make it faster. Then user training, documentation and user training will be the last
Okay,
step.
sorry, Jimmy. Are you sharing? I don't see anything.
Eddie's going to be sharing the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that. So we'll move to the second one, which is the user transfer and access adjustments. So the procedures will be a transfer notification where the HR notifies the IT of the role change and effective date,
Okay.
and then the current access review, and then the new role assessment, and then the access modification. And then this is approved by the manager. And then there's the testing and the certification as well. And then most importantly, we have to remove the old uh, privileges, the old access to adhere to the privilege, the least privilege.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Just a comment for everybody. And I get it for this one, I'll let it slide. When you do walkthrough, right, people want you to, it's like a meeting notes. You're just giving a narrative. If you put it this way, what I would think is that you're just sharing with me the policy and procedure, and that's not the intent. The policy and procedure is to guide you in documenting your own understanding of their of their flow. So don't give me this in a walkthrough, because if you give me this, it's like I'm looking and say, wait, are you sharing the policy? Are you sharing the procedure? I need it to be like in a language format. I think I saw a few groups shared theirs in their group, and that was good because it's just a narrative, right? So keep it at that, because if you share this, I get it, this is good. However, it will not show your originality. It will show you are showing me their policy and procedure. I want it to be a sentence statement, in a sentence where you're just flowing and telling me what's happening, right? So, so be mindful for everybody, and it's easy to put this in a verbiage, right? Just say, okay, for terminated user, this is the step. HR provides immediate notification. After that, it goes through this process, blah, blah. So this same flow, just put it in a sentence format. That's all. Okay. All right. So let's move to the Jamie. It's okay. Let's let this slide for now. Let's go to Amaka and see what they have. Okay. But that's the feedback for everybody. Okay. Go ahead, Amaka. Amaka, please go ahead.
Okay, let me share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Amaka, and I'll be presenting for the Orange Group. And my presentation is on new users. Scope is logical access and physical environmental controls. Our purpose is to demonstrate and validate that IT controls are designed and operating effectively in alignment with HIPAA needs and ISO 27001. For new users policy, citing section 3.1, the objective is to ensure all new user accounts are created only upon proper authorization with least privilege access. The walkthrough steps are request to sample 3 or 5 newly onboarded employees from HR, obtain HR-initiated access request forms or tickets, then verify manager approval is documented.
Yeah. Hold on.
Confirm
Hold on. Hold on.
accounts were
Sorry. Sorry.
created.
Sorry. 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 All right. I'll
Yes.
stop you. Okay. So what I'm saying here is that I know you guys probably opened the document I sent to you,
Yes.
and you used that to run this. So we're not going to do that because
Okay.
that would not show it as a walkthrough. You are showing it like a testing. You're showing like you're testing. There are two
Okay.
things. When you do walkthrough, the intent is there are two things. Can we all type this, everybody, if you don't mind? Can we all say test of design and test of effectiveness? Can we type that real quick, everybody, if you don't mind? Very important. Please type it, everybody. So I'll let you understand what that means. Test of design, that's the first thing. Then you tell me test of effectiveness. Let's talk about each one of them real quick, okay? Let's give an example. A control in your house today is to have a door. So if I come to your house, I can say, do we have a door? The answer is yes. Okay, perfect. Bingo, you have a door. You've won. You beat me there. Okay, great. That is the walkthrough. We are testing the design. Does your house have a door? Bingo, you won. But guess what? I can also say, does your car have a door? Okay, it has the door. Perfect. But the test of effectiveness is, does the door lock? So I understand your car has a door. Okay, the design. I hope your car has a door, right? If your car does not have a door, it's probably not a car. It's probably a bicycle or tricycle or just one of those maybe a golf cart, right? So I hope it has a door, right? So it means the test of design, we are saying there is a door, and that's really our walkthrough. We are checking to see if we are following the process the way it's designed. Test of effectiveness is when we now get into the actual test to see operating effectiveness. Is it effective the way it's designed? And how do I know? It means now I have to now go to your door and try to open it. If I try and open that door and it opens, then I know the test of design is fine, but the test of effectiveness is a fail because the door is just opening, you know? So um, that's the way we kind of think about it. So there are two things. So now what you all are, this particular document is more of effectiveness. You're actually testing because now you've selected sample and you are
Okay.
checking if they're actually doing the right thing. So we are getting to details now, which we'll do the next. That's the next thing we do. Okay. For now, let's hold
Okay.
our thoughts. Okay, if you don't mind. Excellent
All right,
job.
sir.
It's just that you're ahead of us. So let's get everybody caught up. All right.
All
So
right,
let's
sir.
take Phoebe. All right. We'll come back to you. Don't worry. I promise you. All right, Phoebe. Let's go. Let me see if any of you got
Sure.
me
I'm
today.
supposed to be
Let's see.
doing this with Jennifer. She's gonna do the change management portion.
All right, Jennifer, please share your screen if you don't mind.
Well, she doesn't. Oh, that's not Jennifer. You have the other one, right? You have the IT. Oh, I'll just share and then she'll share when it's her turn. Listen to this up here. Just a moment, please.
You're fancy people. I can tell. You all are fancy. Okay.
It's because it's still Jennifer. She's the Claude AI genius.
Okay.
Makes us look good all the time. All right. Okay.
Okay.
IT policy. She's combined both of them. Jennifer, do you want to go first since change management is first? Yeah, she did that. Dan, she's sharing. If
I
you
can
talk to me,
see
I can't hear you.
I can see IT policies and procedures review, the flow here around the procedure review here. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I would recommend. I think I didn't give clear instructions, so that's on me on this one. Um, you guys are just, I guess you guys are just too smart. That's all. Because you guys are just way ahead of the way I was thinking. I was dulling you guys. I guess I was limiting you. You guys just said, screw this guy, move on. You just did your thing, which is good. I like it. But you're just ahead of my thinking. So that is good. So what we're gonna do is, apologies, folks. Let's not take anybody again. Let's just jump into the meat. The meat is this: whatever process I assigned to you for red, orange, yellow was logical access and environmental and physical security. For my green and blue, you all had IT operations and change management. We're going to keep it. But now what you guys have done now, we're now going to get into the details. Now we are testing. Now, let me test one or two with us. Then we can now, you know my flow, the way I'm thinking about it. All right, let's start with logical access. Okay, I'll do one of logical access, right? With logical access, if you open the document, there's one that says new user testing. I'll open that document and I'll show you guys real quick. Then you guys can see the, let me share my screen so you see the way I'm kind of thinking about it myself. So this is new user testing. For those of my folks that are auditors here, I'm sure you guys will agree with me on this one. So what we normally do is this. For new user, for example, your organization might have 50 users, depending on the audit period. Audit period might be fiscal year or normal year, 6 months, 1 year, whatever it is. So they will give you population of those times. Every environment has a sampling methodology. They might say, well, our sampling methodology is 10%, 15%. Internally, ask your organization what their sampling methodology is. Can we all type that word real quick, everybody? Sampling methodology. If you don't mind, can we type that real quick? Sampling methodology. There's no standard way of saying that everybody use. There are some that are more popular than the others. If you tell me you randomly selected a sample, that is a better way to talk with me versus judgmentally. You know, randomly is always better because it correlates a lot with statistics. So maybe you can win with that. So I think it's a safe bet most times when you say, I randomly select a sample. And you can use a random generator. Now with AI, you can just say, I have 50 items, randomly give me 10. So the randomizer might just say number 8, number 12, number 12, 25. It will just randomly give you 10, right? So that you can defend that. That's a good way to do it. But look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is the population in this case. If you notice here, because we are healthcare, right? The department, nursing, radiology, IT, these are the department. Look at the date they join. Look at the access they have. Look at the manager approval. All of these are there, right? So we selected a sample of 5 in this case, right? You know, and you can see, was the manager approval? Yes. Then this is the work plan. Work plan is where you actually go in and do your testing and check. Wait a minute, did they have all the necessary things? Okay, I know the risk, I know the controls. Look at the testing step in this case for the first person. In this case, right? I'm saying verify access request form includes manager and HR approval. This is the auditor information. We checked it, no exception. This one, out of the 5, you know, one of them had an exception. Exception simply means there was an issue. That's all it means, right? Yeah, we have testing description just to give you an idea of what we came up with. I intentionally left this there because you will need this for your report. You can kind of give you an idea of if I want to put some comment around generating a report, I can come here and you can also put your sample selection methodology here. You can also, this is a good one for audit summary for report. In my case, I realized there was one exception now. There's one other thing I attached to the document. If you guys take a look at the document, there's a place called evidences. There's one tab I added that is evidences. So if you look at the new user tab, there was one that is evidence. You can look at each of those files and see the way the forms are actually showing. Let me share one of my screen so you can see each one of them has a evidence here. So if you notice here, this is an evidence. For example, I'm looking here, HR approval is there, manager approval is there, access right aligns, yes. So in that case, based on all of this, I said no exception noted. Now, in real time, because most people now use automated tools, so it will look like this, the form. In the old days, we used to have signature. Somebody would manually sign and agree. But now it will be a timestamp. The approval will just come up in a form like this, but it will be like timestamp to show that, okay, the manager approves it with a button, check of a button. It will just timestamp it because they use different tools now to track users having access to the system. So this is what some evidence would look like. Of course, remember again, we would have done a walkthrough to see the way they assign and create users. Based on that walkthrough, I would expect they will give me evidences. This is just an example I'm giving you of some of the evidence you collect, okay? This is for logical access, new users, okay? Now, if I realize you didn't even have a form, let me ask you, what would that be for you? If I select a sample and I realize they didn't even have a form, what would that be? What would you say? What would come to your mind? Go ahead and type. I selected a sample out of, let's say the population is 50. I selected a sample that let me check if they have approval, the manager approves it, you know. But in this case, they didn't even, there was no form. That's an exception. That's an exception. That means that's a finding. That's what it means. It's a finding because there's no form, and it happens a lot. That's the reality. So people are created, either they didn't get the right approval or they gave them wrong approval. Whatever it is, you can test it. That's the whole idea of it. Okay. Now let me jump to for change management just to show you. So that's for my logical access, folks. Let me do one for change management so you guys will be fair. So when you guys do your thing, you would understand what it's all about.